Hello guys, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel Blast in the Past. Again after a short break, and this time I would like to talk about another DVD release. So this is Dr. Dolittle from 1998. And of course it's a film for children starring Eddie Murphy in his prime, at his best still. Maybe his fame was a little bit waiting at that moment because it was way after the Beverly Hills Cop, the whole trilogy, the franchise, but he was still a very popular actor back in the days, so even at the end of the 90s. Anyhow, so let's focus on this film. So it's another very cheap purchase because I bought it for less than £1, again on sale, so another bargain, I would say, a steal. And I know that this film is available on Blu-ray, but this DVD edition is pretty solid, pretty decent. Again, in terms of the picture quality, and the audio quality is fine as well. So really, if you don't have too big of a TV screen like myself, so 47 inches only, or as many for some people, but generally it's not a big TV screen, so it's very serviceable, this film, in this quality. Of course, I wish I had the Blu-ray edition, but you know, sometimes beggars can be choosers. You have to settle for the second best. And in this case, it's the film that matters. Okie dokie, so let's have a look at the packaging. So let's have a quick unboxing, let's say, although it's a used item. Let's have a look at the packaging. So here's the front cover, here's the back cover, and here's the spine. Let's have a look at what we have inside. Right, that's pretty nice. So I remember some posters because actually, as a matter of fact, I saw this film at the cinema when it was released with dubbing. So not with the original voices, but with dubbing. And actually, for a kid like myself at that time, it was great. It only added to the charm in the case of this film. Now maybe let's have a short summary of the plot. So once again, I'm not gonna rack my brains, but rather I'll read the back cover, why not? Okay, so we have treat yourself to a healthy dose of Eddie Murphy's untamed animal magnetism in the smash hit comedy. As successful doctor and devoted family man, John Dolittle Murphy seems to have the world by the tail until a long suppressed talent he possessed as a child, the ability to communicate with animals, is suddenly reawakened with a vengeance. Now every creature within squawking distance wants the good doctor's advice, unleashing an outrageous chain of events that turns his world upside down. Featuring an all-star menagerie of voice talent including Chris Rock, John Leguizamo, Norm Macdonald, Albert Brooks, Gary Shandling, and Ellen DeGeneres. This wild and woolly free for all is your prescription for hilarious jiggings and fun. Okay, that's nice, and we have one quote only this time, unlike with the Ghost Ship. Funny and engaging for both adults and children, the Sunday Times, and I couldn't agree more with this one. It's very to the point, I would say. Because it's a good film even at my age, so I enjoyed it a lot. The plot is simple but not simplistic. The film has its charm, really, especially after so many years. So it's pretty nice to watch Eddie Murphy still in his prime, at his best, or questionable best, but let's say so. Still, he had a little bit fuel left in the tank. Maybe some of the special effects are a little bit dated, again, because you can see that the moving mouths of or snouts of animals are computer generated and enhanced, because according to the trivia regarding this film, available on the IMDb website, Eddie Murphy was and is afraid of live animals, so they had to limit their presence to the bare minimum. So basically, whenever it was possible, he was shot with no animals at all in his presence, and they were added with the use of computer generated imagery, CGI, I guess. But really, you can't tell that it's been tampered with, the picture, the scenes they were tampered with. It's not so obvious, so this is good. Actually, I had a look at some information regarding the film, and I was pretty surprised to find out that it cost around $70 million to make. And that's a gigantic sum of money, especially if you take into account the inflation and if you adjust it for inflation. Of course, it earned its worth. so it made profit, but still, so that's a ginormous amount of money. So the budget was great, but whenever Eddie Murphy wanted something at that time, so he would get it because he was still before Pluto Nash. And about Pluto Nash, it's considered one of his biggest disasters, if not the biggest one in Eddie Murphy's career. But actually, I have a soft spot for Pluto Nash, just as I have a weakness for Dr. Dolittle. Like I said before, I saw this film at the cinema first, so it was the time when films like Flubber, Home Alone, the third part, they were released, and this one was there as well. And really, so when you develop sentiment and nostalgic feelings for a film, it's very difficult to not look at the picture through pink tinted glasses, right? With some sentiment, with a soft spot for it, so in a little more understanding, forgiving way. So this film, in terms of the plot, like I said, it's nothing special. It's same old, same old. So a typical family man. He works very hard. He's almost like a workaholic. He's all a bit irritated with his current situation because he wants to earn enough money to provide for his family, to bring the bacon home, and more than that, because he's a vet. Of course, he's well off, but not as well off as some of his friends. And he's thinking about, together with his workmates, selling this clinic. And you should see what happens next. But I can guarantee you that there's lots of fun and lots of laughs during the film. You won't burst out laughing, probably, but if you want to watch something with your kids, with your beloved ones, so why not give this one a go? And I know that they started developing this franchise after 1998, after the first film, and so far there have been like 5 parts, I think. So the second one was still starring Eddie Murphy. So I guess, I don't know the details, but I guess that it was still made with some decent budget, but the other ones, so they were straight to DVD productions. And they have pretty bad reviews and comments and marks on all websites devoted to film, so probably I wouldn't bother. Maybe the second one, because again, so it's still, Murphy is still there in the cast and there was some decent budget, maybe a good director, but the first installment in this franchise, in the series, is definitely worth watching, worth seeing, worth ticking off of your list. And like I said, it's funny but not outrageously funny, unlike they state in the comments, so it's okay. If you want to spend a nice evening, especially with your family, and have a few small laughs, it's a good position, it's a very good recommendation. Also, I need to add once again that the DVD quality is very decent. So I wish I had most of my favorite films on Blu-ray, but I don't, so I have to be happy with what I have, and especially that the price was like, it was dirt cheap on sale. It would have been a shame not to have taken it and kept waiting for Blu-ray. What for? I know it's only a comedy, but of course, by rule, by definition, it's always good to watch a film, especially the one which you haven't seen for a long time, in the best quality possible. Yes, but in this case, it was really fine. And I sit pretty close to my TV screen, so if I say that it's acceptable, it is acceptable. Even if a bit pixelated or not as sharp as any even poorly released Blu-ray, the colors are again washed out, just like with the Ghost Ship on DVD. All in all, I think that the film was bashed by critics, apart from Roger Ebert, because he was one of few critics who actually appreciated the film. And if I'm not mistaken, he gave it 3 out of 4 stars. So he must have liked it. And really, it's a very decent position and a good thing to recommend if you want to spend some quality family time together watching a film. I know that it's been around 24 years since its premiere, so the chances that somebody hasn't seen it are slim to none, but in case you haven't, so please give it a go, especially with your beloved ones. And sometimes it's good to come back to the films which you already know, because actually you may be sometimes surprised and you may find them more entertaining than they used to be. Sometimes it works the opposite way, but life is brutal, life is life. But this film, in this case, Dr. Dolittle, so really recommend it. Maybe not highly, but I would say that it is an okay movie. That's a very elaborate opinion. That's a very elaborate review. It's an okay film, a decent production. Give it a whirl. Why not? So thank you for your attention. Thank you for devoting those couple of minutes to my short review, short comment on the film, because I would like to keep talking about the films which I have seen recently. I think it's a very nice thing if you have someone to share your thoughts, your opinion about something with. So in this case, that's why I decided to talk about this old film, old but still with a flame. And still, it's a feel-good film. If you want to be in a good mood, so watch Dr. Dolittle. Why not? Thank you for your attention, and until the next time. Cheers!